90 Day Fiancé, Happily Ever After, Season 9, Episode 4. Review: Brandon's parents are the villains, and that's not a plot twist. I honestly don't recall a time when they were thrilled while the TLC cameras were following their every move. And most of their conflict has always been driven by Brandon's parents, Ron and Betty. They're so overbearing and have been called out for it in the past. But in just one episode, they made it crystal clear that they're never going to change. The best thing Brandon and Julia ever did was move far away from them. It has allowed their relationship to be more about them, not constant interference from family members who can't respect boundaries. I don't doubt for a second that Betty was looking for an argument when she brought up the guest room situation. Julia's parents haven't even visited, so of course she's making space for them when they eventually come to the US. Betty shrieking that the guest room is her room was both embarrassing and infuriating. At the end of the day, she was standing in Julia's house trying to lay down the law like she owned the deed. How did she expect Julia to react? And don't even get me started on the fake tears she turned on for the producer. It's always the same cycle. She helps, gets called out, then cries about how no one appreciates her. Girl, being a controlling helicopter mom isn't help. It's exhausting. Honestly, if I were Julia, I'd keep a healthy distance from the family. The lack of emotional boundaries is suffocating. Then there's Brandon. He seemed to relish the fact that his parents were ganging up on Julia, even criticizing her for walking their dogs while he worked in the garden. Like, was she supposed to just not walk them? Let the dogs suffer so she could help pull weeds? Brandon rarely takes Julia's side and seldom stands up to his parents. Julia girl, you can do so much better. You deserve a man who sees you, backs you up, and isn't permanently stuck in his parents' emotional basement. Away from this dysfunctional circus, Elizabeth and Andre touched down in Moldova and things are going from bad to worse. I did laugh, though, and she complained about one bathroom for 6 people. Like, tell me you're privileged without telling me you're privileged. To be fair, that minor complaint is nothing compared to her usual ones, and I loved the producers planting a hallway cam to catch those bathroom moments. Andre's parents were visibly done with it all. Andre, as usual, isn't being transparent. His surprise party felt like just another excuse to keep Elizabeth out of the loop. He's not changing anytime soon. Then Elizabeth complaining that she couldn't understand the language. Girl, you've been with this man for how many years? If moving to Moldova is truly on the table, why hasn't she made learning Romanian a priority? It's hard to take this storyline seriously when it feels so disconnected from reality. The whole setup feels like they're playing house with cameras rolling. As for Cara and Guillermo, yikes, their drama is textbook toxic. There's no salvaging this marriage because the trust is long gone. Guillermo's suspicion that Cara was cheating because she laughed while texting is a red flag. That kind of insecurity doesn't just go away, and it speaks volumes about how broken their communication is. When you're both that checked out and unwilling to support each other's goals, it's time to cut your losses and go find your joy elsewhere. Yes, she helped put 90 Day Fiancé on the pop culture map during the pandemic, but her plotlines feel tired now. It's time to shift the focus back to couples who still have something tangible to say or at least believable conflict. Hopefully, the show's producers start trimming some of the more exhausting, fake-feeling storylines. Because if the show wants to keep fans invested, it needs to continue moving toward real stakes, real drama, and couples who aren't just going through the motions for... And if Brandon and Julia are the ones bringing that energy right now? Well, stranger things have happened. What are your thoughts on the episode? 90 Day Fiancé, Happily Ever After? Fanatics? Are you liking this new drama for Brandon and Julia? Gino's face in that moment deserves its own Emmy nomination. He looked like a man who just realized the love story he was banking on was already rebooted with a different leading. Jasmine insisted she hadn't planned it and admitted she was worried about him, but Gino stormed off, muttering in the car about betrayal. It was messy, raw, and, honestly, the final nail in a relationship that's been toxic from day one. And while Jasmine was finally decisive, Gino was left with nothing but his delusions. If Gino and Jasmine's implosion was loud and dramatic, Cara and Guillermo's demise was quiet and devastating. They embarked on a couple's trip to work through their issues, but vacations don't cure fundamental trust issues. Their conversations felt heavy, like two people stuck in quicksand. Kara's suspicions about Guillermo lingered. Guillermo resented the constant doubt, and neither seemed remotely happy. Instead of bickering over who left their shoes in the hallway, they were arguing about whether they even wanted to keep going at all. By the end of the trip, reality set in. They admitted they weren't working and decided to split. Kara broke down sobbing in her confessional. Guillermo's eyes welled up as he tried to hold it together, and yet the scene had more dignity than most 90-day breakups. But the bigger issue here is that this doesn't even feel like 90-Day Fiancé anymore. Watching friends hash out beef instead of couples working through cultural and marital clashes is pure Bravo energy. And when viewers are left wondering. The weather threatened to derail the ceremony, but the real hurricane was Betty herself, who has made a second career out of meddling in her son's marriage. The wedding went off beautifully, but Julia made it clear afterward. She doesn't want kids right now. Cue Betty, objecting like she had some vote in her daughter-in-law's uterus. Julia looked shocked, too, probably because she'd never had an in-law publicly back her before. For viewers, it was delicious. After years of Betty dictating everything from farm chores to fertility, seeing her silenced by her own husband was the kind of karmic justice reality TV dreams are made of. So, what did 90-Day Fiancé Happily Ever After? Season 9, Episode 11 give us? Gino finally learning Jasmine isn't a prize he can win back. Kara and Guillermo choose maturity over misery. Elizabeth and Lauren drag us into housewives territory, and Betty loses control of the narrative for the first time ever.